Well, hello, good people. It's a beautiful day here, Sunday, Mother's Day, at our little ranch here in Alberta, Canada, and we call it Misty River Ranch. And we just had a really exciting week this week. It was a bit stressful, not too much, but we had a little Jersey cow that, well, heifer actually, that calved on us, and I only had literally 2 days notice. And that's a whole story unto itself, but suffice it to say that we thought she was barren, and last summer we believe she lost the calf that we had her bred to before we moved from our last farm. And somewhere along the way last summer, our neighbor bull, neighbor to the one side of us, his bull breached our fence and had his way with her and then went back to his respective quarters, and I didn't catch it. And in the fall, I brought my little heifer to our other neighbor who so generously offered to allow us to expose her to his bull. And after 4 months, he said, "She's a dud. The bull's not interested. You might want to just turn her into hamburger." And I was like, "Oh, that's so terrible. She's a wonderful little thing." And I had actually got her as a baby from a dairy farm together with another cow that we had bought as our milk cow a number of years back, 3 years ago, and raised her up as our own. And I actually never had time with the move and everything to halter break her. And she started bagging up a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, and I'm looking at her going, that doesn't happen unless you're pregnant. And we went off to our son Ryan's commissioning from Bible school, and when I came back, she was very, very heavy with filling up with her bag, and I thought, oh gosh, here I am. She's about to calve, and sure enough, the next day she did. And I wasn't ready. On this new farm here, we have somewhat of a corral system, but nowhere near set up the way I had on my last farm. I just haven't had the time or the funds to be able to convert it over yet. And here we are, unhalter, broke little heifer, a new baby, and she's a Jersey. So you know what that means? That means she's bagging up and overproducing, and the baby is not drinking nearly enough, and actually not even accessing the hindquarters, because there's plenty from the two fronts, and even those were getting overloaded. So by day 3, I finally had my setup done, and I got her into the, here we are. This is a squeeze that thankfully came with the farm. Oh, and here's the baby. Need to show her to you. Hi, baby girl. I think I'm gonna call her Cinder. She's absolutely precious and actually very, very friendly for a little calf. She loves her mama. Oh, and there's my horses. They're in quarantine while I get the milking done. Have a little snack at the hay bales. Anyway, so I had to quickly rally myself together. Oh, what a nice windy day today. And, you know, when a cow gets mastitis, typically the conventional way to go is just to either shove something up in the teats and get that all disinfected and whatever else they need to do, or give her a needle. And I haven't done that in a long time because I've always gone straight for my essential oils. And so I did up my trusty batch of Mastitis blend, and I got slathering her with this all over her udder, on her teats, especially around that area where the teats are, where it gets really clogged up and hard and hot. And I've been doing that for 3 days, and she is now flowing more freely, dripping when the baby nurses, which is amazing because those hindquarters, when they're clogged up, they don't drip. So it's been wonderful to be able to have that solution. And what I do, I'm just going to show you. So what I used to use before I knew about Young Living was this bag balm, and you can get this at any regular feed store. I never thought twice of it. It was kind of what you do. You get this stuff and you put it on their teats. And back, you know, when we first got a milk cow, oh gosh, 13, 14 years ago, we hand milked for 7 years. And this is what I would put on the teats to try and, you know, make them a little bit more slippery, easy to work with when you hand milk. And, you know, I didn't really look at the ingredients until couple years ago, and I kept this little guy because it's important to know that we have better solutions for things. And you know what's in this stuff that you put on your cow's bag, which of course anything that goes on your skin goes into your bloodstream, right? We've got first ingredient petrolatum. What's that? That's a petroleum byproduct. Why? Why? Oh gosh. Lanolin, 8-hydroxyquinoline sulfate, and paraffin wax. Now, I don't know a whole lot about those other ingredients. All I know is that, number one, they aren't beneficial. I mean, they help to slick things up, obviously, and that's the whole purpose. But why put anything that's not beneficial on your cow or on yourself, for that matter? And that's what I'm all about with Young Living, is anything that we put on or in our body should be good for us. Not just good for us, but fortifying. And so in this case, with my little Jersey, let me introduce you to Sophie. Say hi, Sophie. This is my little cow that was not halter broke until a couple days ago. She's absolutely wonderful. Real quiet. I guess all the little interactions I had with her really helped over the last year, 2 years. And you know, she's not kicking or anything. It's amazing. I do put the cow can't kick on her, so it teaches her that it's not even an option. But if they really want to kick, they'll kick. Her, the last milk cow we had, which we sold with our last farm, she didn't stop kicking until her, I believe it's her 4th calf. And I toughed it through with all those calves and just, you know, was very, very careful with her. And she ended up being a wonderful little milk cow. Over time, she finally realized that it wasn't such a bad thing to get milked out and to have that wonderful bit of supplements and grain and such while she ate and got milked. Anyway, oh, I should tell you too, kind of squirreling here, but my little cow gets a little bit of grain with her milking. Not very much, because I don't want her to overproduce, obviously. She's on good hay. But what goes in that grain is some diatomaceous earth, which is really good for pest control and strong hooves and hair and such. Pest control, parasite control. And then I've also got some kelp in there, which is really good minerals. A little bit of cow minerals. Some garlic, which is immune supportive. You always need that if you have a cow who's fighting mastitis. What else do I put in there? Oh, some camelina oil, so good omega-3s for inflammation. And it also helps with a nice glossy coat. I actually have it, I've been using it on all my 3 horses this spring, and my one gelding who I just got about a month and a bit ago came to me with a pretty dull coat. He had just been basically stuck out on pasture with about 80 other horses and no individual care whatsoever. Good life for a horse, but not good when they don't have good nutrition. And so he came to me with a really dull coat, and I've been giving him lots of supplements, which of course at the first week he rejected them entirely because that's not what you eat when you're a horse. But he, like all my other horses over the last 15 years, they just end up craving it and loving it. So I throw the works at them. I give them tons of good supplements and herbs and oils and you name it. And he's been consuming the camelina oil in all my supplements and oils, and he's glossed right up. I'll have to show you him later. But it's just a beautiful thing when you can see an animal transform under your care with these wonderful products. So back to what I put on my cow's bag. I have made what I call my mastitis blend. And this is a blend of about 6 or 7 immune supportive and infection fighting essential oils. And I did all my research, and of course whenever I make a blend, it's according to what those particular oils are known to support, and threw them together, and it's been really effective for me. And she's cow number 4 with me using these oils now, and it's wonderful. I slather it on. It helps to kind of loosen things up, support everything inside the bag, and of course it goes into all those mammary glands and helps to fight any infection or clogging up. And it works every time. It's amazing. And then when I'm done milking, I always put my Animal Sense ointment on the teats and around the teats to help keep them all supple and from cracking and all the things. Yes, they even crack in the summer. And especially with a calf on, because they're so aggressive, right? So I have all the solutions here. It's wonderful. And I'm always so grateful to be able to offer these things to my animals instead of reaching for pharmaceuticals, because number one, it goes in their bloodstream and isn't great, right? And yes, there's times and there's a place for some of these things, like the calcium. I gave her calcium dose right after she freshened, and that's a very important thing for a Jersey, because they have such a huge calcium dump with such a massive bag that it ends up kind of draining them and actually coming out of their bones. So you need to support that. So she gets that, and I went to the vet and got her calcium supplement and kept her from going down with that problem. And let me just show you here. So this Mastitis blend is actually a hack that I created. And what is that? That's a recipe that is accessible to all my Bloom Crew members. Bloom Crew is my Young Living support group that I created. And I have a whole website, thebloomcrew.com. And on there, for any members who have joined me with Young Living or joined under other members that are mine in Young Living, you all have access to the team member area of the Bloom Crew. And I grant that, of course, it's a private group where I go deep with some really amazing solutions that aren't necessarily something that we want circulating around in the public due to FDA laws and all those wonderful compliance things. Let's just stop there. Anyway, so these hacks, that's just one of many. I have ones for laminitis. I have a rain rot one, which is what I used on my gelding that came to me with a nasty dull coat and missing hair and scabbing and all the things. And all these things are in my resource vault area of my Bloom Crew website. It's a wonderful thing to be able to offer these things to you. It's hard to find solutions on the internet that you can trust. And especially when you use Young Living oils, you know you're getting therapeutic grade, meaning they're medicinal. They're not just a pretty smell adulterated with who knows what, which is very, very common in the industry. But there's a whole other level of quality that comes with Young Living oils, and I am 100% supportive of them because they work, and they've worked for me for a long, long time. I've been with Young Living for 10 years, and they're wonderful. I reach for them for absolutely everything with my family and my animals, as you can see. Oh, and there's my horses. Hi, guys. It's such a wonderful team. Anyway, I need to run and finish up this milking. It's Mother's Day, and the guys are making me breakfast or brunch post-mass. So, pretty wonderful day. I'm going to spend the day with my horses, put a ride on my filly, who she's the one that I raised from birth, and she's had her 60 days, and then with the move, I just really never climbed back on her this last year. So, I'm going to do that. So, it's a good day for that. And anyway, so thanks for joining me today. I know your time is precious, as is mine, but God bless you, and we'll catch you on the next one.